showing you how to properly tack up your horse. We're going to start with the basics and work our way up. The first step, according to stateline.com, which is the most important, and I would agree with that, would be to make sure that your horse is properly secured to a post or tacking center. That way they can't kind of run off from you, because that can be really dangerous. So he's getting bored. But the second step, which comes from lovehorsebackriding.com as being the other most important thing, so to speak, is to make sure that your horse is groomed. It doesn't have to be perfect necessarily, but you really want to make sure that the loose dirt that's sitting on your horse is kind of brushed off. That way it doesn't cause rubbing or sores. So the first one we have here is just called a curry comb. It has little doll spokes that is just used to kind of loosen up the dirt that may be sitting or hiding or clumped up. And then our second brush here is literally just a normal brush, but the bristles are hard. So that, again, just goes over. That way whatever dirt or debris you loosened up with your curry comb comes off with this. And then our hoof pick here does literally what it says. This helps us pick out the horse's hoofs from any small rocks or dirt clumps that could be causing pain or problem later on. And then we have our big pieces of tack here. We have our Western saddle, which is what I ride in almost all the time. And Western saddles were actually copied from the Spanish conquistadors. When they brought their saddles over, we made that mold from there, so to speak, and that comes from the Encyclopedia for Horse and Ponies. And then we have our saddle pad here, which is really important. It acts as the buffer between your horse and the saddle. And then we have our bridle here. This metal piece is the bit, so it goes inside their mouth. And then we have our breast collars. Breast collars are optional. Most people use them just strictly for riding on trails or up and down hills, stuff like that. I'm not going to put mine on today since we won't really need it, but just wanted to show you guys that. You always start with your saddle pad. This is the bottom side, top side. The short end goes towards the front and the longer end here goes on the back. So we're just going to toss it over. And you want to make sure that your saddle pad lines up with what's called their withers, which is like a shoulder blade to us. That's just going to stay there. And then we're going to come back over. And cowboyway.com says that this is an important thing for saddling. It's a good key to remember, is before you pick up your saddle, always take your loose stuff like your stirrup here and your 2 cinches and toss them over the horn. So that way they're out of your way when you go to throw them. And then when you pick it up, it's going to lean it into you so the stuff doesn't fall down. You're going to hold one in the back and then one under the horn here. You're going to walk over to your horse. Lucky's pretty good. He'll just stand here and let me do whatever. But one of the big things that I personally like to stress is never throw your saddle too hard, because that can really spook a horse. That's one of the big problems I have with Rocky. So this saddle is pretty light too, so it makes it easy. And then you're just going to toss it over. You're going to make sure it lines up and it sits properly. That way you don't have any issue as you get going. I always touch my horse when I walk around them just so they know where I'm at. So if they get spooked and try to kick, they don't kick me, hopefully. And then now that we're on the other side, as you saw, I just pulled down my stirrup and my cinches. And then we're going to undo those. We have a front cinch and a back cinch. And we're just going to let those hang. We're going to walk back across. I'm putting my other stirrup up just so it's out of the way. It makes it easier to see. You're going to undo your first little tie here. You're going to put that where this D-ring is. You're just going to put it in the middle. You're going to bring it back up here to this O-ring up at the top, and you're going to pull it through. And you're just going to tighten it. I always put 2 fingers, just make sure that I have enough room there. And then you're going to put it through the first hole and then tighten it. And then I take my excess and I just stick it up here in this little pocket so that way it doesn't fall. And then you're going to do your back cinch, always in that order. It's very important, because if you have a horse that decides to be crazy, your saddle's already secure with the front cinch, so they can't really run off. And that's our saddle. Just make sure it sits right. I always like to double check myself just in case. And then most important because it's your bridle and it's what is going to help you control your animal. So we're going to come over here, grab my horse's head, put your hand at the top, the other hand down here at the bit. Some horses will open easier than others, but some horses do not. So the most, the best way to get them to open their mouth is just stick your finger in the back of their throat. They'll open it eventually. And then we're going to just secure our little thing back here so it holds that in place. We're going to take our reins and just hook them over there so they're out of the way and he doesn't trip and I don't trip on them. And then now that we have them perfectly tacked, just check your work over because you can never be too sure. You don't want to risk the horse's safety or your safety. These animals are big and they can cause a lot of issues. So just make sure that you check it. Horseback riding is a lot of fun when it's done the right way and it's done properly. So Lucky did a really good job, so he's going to go get a drink of water and probably a carrot because he deserves it. Thank you for watching.